Mr. Iyer, if you could comment a little bit on how you think the economic ties can impact the defense and the strategic partnerships that are on the line here, Mr. Iyer.
Thank you. And one of the important facets of the Indo-United States relationship has been the fact that ever since the Y2K problem surfaced in the late 90s, India has been providing a lot of resources in terms of trying to combat some of the day-to-day challenges in the technology sector for America. And now what we are seeing is that Indian engineers are either working in the United States or back home. They have been contributing significantly to all the big companies in the United States. In fact, anytime a startup is talked about in Silicon Valley, one of the first questions the venture capitalists ask is, what is your India strategy? And the reason that is asked is what they want to know is which aspects of your product idea development are you going to use India for resources. Now, in this relationship, the Indian government has done taken several steps forward, like, for example, bringing in bankruptcy code laws and a few other things. And there's a continuous process. India has to still make its stock exchanges more vibrant, be able to provide capital for the startup companies in India, which might be looking to the stock exchange for that. And these things are still work in progress. I'd like to see that go faster. But here's where the American companies can provide the leadership for India. The move away from China to other destinations for low-cost manufacturing has started in real earnest. Vietnam, Bangladesh, and I think India can play a very significant role in this. I'm already glad to see that Apple and some of the big companies have started manufacturing a fair amount of stuff in India. India has the talent, it can scale up. It has a few other deficiencies, but these things are being worked out. For example, recently, the Uttar Pradesh chief minister has announced that there is a 3-year holiday for all the labor laws. So it essentially makes it much easier for companies to set shop in Uttar Pradesh. There's an area called Noida, which is very close to the Delhi airport, which is in Uttar Pradesh, which has become a big hub of technological activity. So all these things are in progress. The most important thing that I'd like the United States companies to take cognizance is that India has arrived. India has taken to internet like a fish takes to water, and they have been completely, absorbed in this. Just to give you an example, during this Corona phase, the number of online streaming companies in India is already 6. I mean, you for the longest time in the United States, you had only Amazon and Netflix and then Hulu. And now, India has already gone past that. So the point I'm trying to make here is India is a great market for American products. India is also a great resource for American needs. And this BECA agreement can only make this thing even better. And I'm hoping that as India becomes more significant a player in the Quad, that it will start also absorbing some of the other technological aspects of the United States Navy, because I know the other 3 members, they're very closely tied in terms of military equipment with the American technology. India has had a mishmash of various technologies, Russian, European, Israeli, and a little bit of American. All these things have to now start coming together, because if they are going to become as a single unit to counter some of the aggressive postures of China, they'll have to start working in tandem and singing the same music, beating to the same dance. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Iyer. You talked a little bit about China and Russia and how some of the things that India can offer from an economic standpoint have to be better specifically than what China is offering right now. Do you agree with Professor Nalapat's sentiment that this alliance, this partnership can only mean good things, Mr. Iyer?
Yes, indeed. But like they say, it takes 2 hands to clap. There are some things that India needs to do that would help America go a long way. For example, in Afghanistan, India is more culturally aligned with Afghanistan. And when the United States came asking for help, India should have stepped up to the plate. I know I'm going to tread on a few toes here. Please forgive me for doing so. India should have stepped up to the plate, and they should have offered to help out so that when this transition, now US had no option because India said no, other than to go and sit on the same table with the Taliban. So this was unfortunate, especially because I'm told that Prime Minister Modi, in his visit in 2017, promised that India would put boots on the ground in Afghanistan, only to welch on it when McMasters came calling to India. These kinds of things will not help. I hope this is the first and the last time that something like this happens. In fact, if you look at what has been happening in the last few days, Iran's Chabahar port is definitely in play for India. And I hope that through Chabahar, India has a plan to reach Kabul by road through Iran. And I hope this thing bears fruit and that there is a road access to Kabul from Chabahar. And I hope India can make use of that. India can build it for them. India can maintain it for them because it's a neutral country as far as both those countries are concerned. And let's hope that something like that happens, because this is not just, we get all the technology from America and India suddenly becomes, a superpower. It's both sides. America needs help. Even now, it is never too late for India to get involved in Afghanistan. Let them make us strike a hard bargain. Ask United States, we will need this, all these drones, these aircraft, these things. And in exchange for that, we will put 20,000 boots on the ground in Afghanistan. Let them strike a hard bargain and let them move forward with that. That's the kind of partnership that I'd like to see. Thank you.
We'll go to you next for your closing remarks, Mr. Iyer.
Thank you, and it was wonderful to be part of this discussion. Not everything is a challenge for India. I believe that Prime Minister Modi is very, very focused on taking India to be a $5 trillion economy. And to this end, he has already done two things. First, he made it possible for companies to easily declare bankruptcy in India. Second, he has given a 15% corporate taxation rate for those companies who are desirous of setting new technological ventures in India. 15% is a great deal for American companies. However, I'd like to have him do two more small things. And with that, I can see that India can easily hit the $5 trillion mark. Number one, it's very easy to do. Peg the US to rupee relationship at a certain number and say that for 4 years, this will stay the same. It could be 72. I'm fine with that. Just peg it at that point, because that helps a lot of the bigger companies who are going to bring in massive investments to plan their investments better. And secondly, you allow those companies who are setting up shop now in India to repatriate their profits at that same rate. See, this is all possible only when everybody knows this is the amount that's going to come in, this is the amount that's going to go out. It is fine, because I can tell you corporate taxation in America today is 20% when India offers 15%. And where is US going to go? Ireland is at 12%, 15% to 12%. I don't see much of a difference. As an American entrepreneur, I'd love to see this happen. And if that happens, I can tell you the gateways will open. You don't need to do a lot of stuff. I'm hoping that people who are listening to this conversation in the PMO office take cognizance of this and make these two simple adjustments and watch India's economy gallop. And along with that, America also will prosper. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Iyer.